Uber's story began in Paris in 2008. Two friends, Travis Kalanick and Garrett Camp, were attending LeWeb, an annual tech conference The Economist describes as where revolutionaries gathered to plot the future. In 2007, both men had sold startups they co-founded for large sums. Kalanick sold Red Swoosh to Akamai Technologies for $19 million, while Camp sold StumbleUpon to eBay for $75 million. The concept for Uber was born one winter night, during the conference when the pair was unable to get a cab. Uber was founded on a single idea. What if you could request a ride from your phone? Initially, the idea was for a timeshare limo service that could be ordered via an app. After the conference, the entrepreneurs went their separate ways. However, when Camp returned to San Francisco, he continued to be fixated on the idea and bought the domain name ubercab.com. In 2009, Camp was still CEO of StumbleUpon, but he began working on a prototype for Uber Cab as a side project. By summer of that year, Camp had persuaded Kalanick to join as Uber Cab's chief incubator. The service was tested in New York in early 2010 using only 3 cars, and the official launch took place in San Francisco in May. Ryan Graves, who was Uber's general manager and an important figure in the early stages of the company, became CEO of Uber in early 2010. In December 2010, Kalanick took over as CEO, while Graves took on the title of General Manager and Senior Vice President of Global Operations. The ease and simplicity of ordering a car fueled the app's rising popularity. With the tap of a button, a ride could be ordered, a GPS identified the location, and the cost was automatically charged to the card on the user account. The San Francisco-based startup quickly became one of the hottest companies and grew quickly. The first Uber ride was requested in 2010, and less than 2 years later, in 2011, Uber had already launched internationally in Paris, where the idea for it first took root. After starting in 2009 and launching its first ride in 2010, the company received its first major funding, a $1.25 million round led by First Round Capital. 2011 was a crucial year for Uber's growth. Early in the year, the company raised an $11 million Series A funding round led by Benchmark, and it went on to expand to New York, Seattle, Boston, Chicago, and Washington, D.C., as well as abroad in Paris. In 2012, the company broadened its offering by launching Uberx, which provided a less expensive hybrid car as an alternative to black car service. In July 2015, Uber became the most valuable startup in the world, valued at $51 billion after its funding rounds. In June 2016, Uber then raised a further $3.5 billion from Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund. With Uber's rapid growth came many controversies. In April 2017, Uber opened up about its finances for the first time to Bloomberg and reported a global loss of $3.8 billion for 2016. This included losses from its China business. This period was also marked by other challenges, including the fatal crash of a self-driving vehicle from Uber's fleet. Additionally, on August 8, 2018, New York City Council voted to put a pause on new licenses issued to ride-hailing services such as Uber and Lyft. 2017 was a rough year for Uber. The troubles began in February when a former female Uber engineer outed the company for its sexist culture in a 3,000-word blog post. It was alleged that Uber's corporate culture was highly hostile, sexist, and quite offensive to most people. The post quickly went viral, and a number of high-level employees were let go or resigned for reasons relating to the allegations in the following months. Following the blog post, the board called for an internal investigation, which became known as the Holder investigation. The investigation resulted in 47 recommendations intended to improve the culture and work environment, and according to Uber, the firing of more than 20 staff members. In the following months, scandals seemed to haunt both the company and its CEO. Letters were released to the press which confirmed that sexist attitudes came from the top down, including from Kalanick himself. Kalanick was also caught on video arguing with an Uber driver about lowering fares, which did not strengthen his image in the public eye. On June 21, 2017, Kalanick resigned after a shareholder revolt. After a little more than 2 months, it was announced that Dara Khosrowshahi, then CEO of Expedia, would take over. Today, Uber is one of the most closely followed companies in the world, once going down in history as once the world's most valuable startup and disrupting the modern ride-sharing and transportation industry as we know it. Though the COVID-19 pandemic has thrown a wrench into Uber's plans to become profitable, marking large losses in its ride-hailing business, the company's strategic investments in its food delivery arm Uber Eats, as well as its recent California Proposition 22 win bode well for the company. Perhaps soon, time will tell if Khosrow Saahi can lift Uber's valuation to its originally projected $120 billion.